Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
What were you
Oh my
saying?
gosh, are we wearing the same shirt?
We are. I changed.
I was in this first, y'all. I just want you to
I
know.
I had a kid get toothpaste all over mine.
Whatever.
Well, I'm serious. He was brushing his teeth and he fell off the stool.
That's not funny.
It was the smaller one. Well, it is what it is.
Bless its heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was like finishing brushing his teeth and it was like, and I was like rubbing his back and he was still crying at the same time.
Oh.
It was sweet and kind of funny and sad and hilarious all at the
Back in
same
the day,
time.
there were several times where like John would pick me up for a date and we would be wearing the same shirt.
Yep. I planned it. Facebook user Twinsies. I don't know who you are. I hate it when it does this. I don't know why it says Twinsy. Whoever said Twinsies, identify yourself, please. That would be great. Oh, and if you're listening to this, watching it, etc., feel free to share this
Share it.
wherever you may
Oh,
be.
I'll do that right now.
Text the link to all your friends. As it is. So we've got some fun things planned for tonight's show. Our topic for this evening that we're going to be talking about is the Allure of the Seas. I just got off a cruise with a few Travelmation travel agents on the Allure of the Seas, including my friend David, who's going to be on the show with us tonight here in just a little bit. We're going to cover some new Disney news travel things beforehand. But our question of the day is this: where are you going in 2023? I already have a lot of folks that I've been working with for 2023 trips, and I'm very excited to see and be able to plan some things for next year. And the travel season next year is looking to be very, very, very busy based on what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. So definitely not too early to plan that. If you're looking at, I would say definitely first part of the year, even spring break. Now is the time for spring break. If you want the best pick of availability and some better pricing, don't wait until after the new year. I know people are budgeting for the holidays and things like that. I get that. I understand that. But if you are able, go ahead and plan for spring break now, if not next summer. So I've even got a few things on the books for 2024 already. And my general rule of thumb, why do I say that, is the earlier you book, generally speaking, the better availability that you're going to have. So you're going to have more of a chance of getting exactly what you want. And usually you get the better pricing by booking earlier in advance. And typically those, early booking windows, depending on, the terms and conditions of what you're doing, may have some flexible payment options and, refund options and cancellation stuff. So just make sure to ask your travel agent. Hopefully it's a Travelmation travel agent if it's not one of us or David. So would love to chat with y'all about that. Let's see here in the comments. Twinsies, it's more fun being incognito. Fair enough. Maybe you could
It's
drop some
Misty.
hints. Is it?
Yeah.
Did they?
It doesn't show
So you
up
can-
on Facebook
Oh,
as
okay.
Facebook user.
That's weird. Okay.
Sorry, I gave you away, Misty.
That's odd. Fair enough. She's making sure that we're not going to get ourselves in trouble, I guess. So, anyway, as always, you're doing some travel planning, travelmationteamrogers.com. There, if you're looking for the links to share this to other people, or you want to download the podcast version of this later on, just go to linktree.com/travel tips Tuesday. You can find all the links on how to listen and get engaged with our humble little podcast we've got going on here. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And again, if you're just joining us, feel free to share this wherever you may be. She's telling me I'm yelling again. All right. So let's go ahead and cover some Disney news. First and foremost, for what was that all about?
I thought you were going to go
talk about the ticket prices. Yeah. No, I'm talking about something like more fun.
Yay!
First. Yeah. The U.S. military rates are out for 2023 for Disneyland and also Walt Disney World. Those are also available. So if you have questions about that, we live kind of in a military town in North Alabama. We've got the Redstone Arsenal close by, and we have a lot of friends that are veterans, retired military, active duty, kind of everything in between. So if you have questions about that, we'd love to talk to you about that and how you can take advantage of those benefits for Walt Disney World, Disneyland, other Disney destinations, and even had somebody reach out to me recently about Royal Caribbean and what they offer. So a lot of well-known travel destinations will offer some sort of incentive, either price break or something like that for active duty always, sometimes for veterans, depending on their retired status. So feel free to reach out to us about that. All right. So this is what Tanya was reacting to, probably where she thought I was going earlier. Disney is changing their, be very specific on this, so you're not like freaking out, right? They're changing their pricing structure for 1 day, 1 park tickets.
Right.
So their pricing structure for 1 day, 1 park tickets is changing up. So Disney's Animal Kingdom will be priced 109 to 159. Disney's Hollywood Studios 124 to 179. Epcot 114 to 179. Magic Kingdom 124 to 189. And this is again only for 1 day, 1 park tickets. Beginning December the 8th is when that will take effect. They're also going to be updating the pricing on select add-on options like the Park Hopper option and Park Hopper Plus option. Annual pass pricing. So notice this does not say that annual passes will be coming like back for sale. It's probably talking about renewals, though it doesn't specify that. So, people can, read into that if you want. So
I wouldn't.
yeah. But
I'm
anyway,
not.
so
I'm giving up on having an annual pass.
you're maybe one day. So we got a note in the private chat. I found out who was posting twinsies. Fair enough. You found out. You know. You smelled
nice investigative work there.
You smelled something afoot, didn't you, Dave? All right, sorry, he's messaging us in our private chat. So there you go. Also, if you've got a trip going on, Disney Destination sent this out. Just a reminder, in addition to your park ticket, you have to have a park pass reservation for your visit. Do not forget that. They will turn you away at the gates if you do not have that. Sometimes there are errors and glitches.
Because that's been that way for a while.
Yes, but sometimes people still forget. Like I still hear stories of people showing up and not having them. But also sometimes when Disney makes changes in their system, hence the December 8th announcement earlier for 1 park tickets, glitches can happen. Like that's been known to happen. Park pass reservations drop off. I was servicing a client's trip today and caught something before I sent it over to the client and had to call into Disney to get it corrected and fixed. So that's one of the things that I can do to make sure you're all squared away. So
yeah, that's a good point to know.
Yep. Hey,
did you see what Dave added?
If
you do the 1 day, 1 park ticket, it automatically makes a park reservation for you.
Yep. So you have to select,
which makes sense.
Yeah, you've got to select the park in advance. So going into our comments today, it's the Derek Frank says hello. Derek is somebody I know through Terry Weaver's The Thing community. So he's a pretty talented guy that's worked in the music industry for a while that I got to hang out with. So a few other things they're doing here. Let's see if there's anything else, dude. Anything else important that we need to cover? What's today? The 15th. Sorry. So
that's gonna have to be a whole nother.
We actually like teased this last week that we knew there were more foodie guides.
Well, because last week it was just the studios,
right,
and one other place, and down in Disney Springs,
right,
just like the studios in Disney Springs. So they've released one for the resorts.
Yeah. They've got one for the resorts, which is pretty cool. We still haven't heard about the one for the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays.
Or just
that's
Magic Kingdom or Animal
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
That's true. So we're waiting on more for them that we're pretty excited about. So that's kind of what we got for Disney news right now. Where is Jen? I don't know. She hasn't been with us in a couple of weeks. Make sure she's alive.
Are you okay?
She was knitting some little tiny sweater ornaments. So
I saw that.
Yeah, they're the best. So hopefully she'll pop on here. yeah, they're pretty epic, indeed. So, let's go ahead to let's get ready for that. There we go. All right. So, I mentioned that we I recently got off a cruise on the Allure of the Seas.
Not we.
Yeah, not we, not her. She was not there, but
I was keeping it together.
Yeah, we were on Allure of the Seas out of the port of Galveston. Royal Caribbean's brand new cruise terminal. So where we were a few days before that on the Norwegian Prima was a completely different cruise terminal and cruise terminal experience that David, I think, is going to get into here in a little bit. David is based out of Texas, and he's a good buddy that we kind of had a chance meeting after our during our Travel Nation retreat one year, and we've kind of gotten to hang out a whole bunch. I got to meet his wife Misty recently. They got a bunch of kids, like we got a bunch of kids, and we identify with a lot of those unique things.
Yeah.
So
Bunches of
before we bring him on, since Jen's not here, what's in your cup?
Oh, it's my lemon ginger.
Lemon ginger. No,
Yeah.
I should have asked you to bring me some of that.
My typical.
I could use some lemon ginger. Actually, hang on a second.
Because I ran out of my sleepy time tea. I haven't got any more yet.
Empty. That's depressing. Sorry, I thought I had some water in that cup, but I don't.
Nope.
Oh, well.
You just have to dehydrate for
Epic.
the next hour.
Well, I mean, I've already been getting ahead of that in the mainstream. Hey, Derek Franks, look at that. He posted that in his group. So, Derek, thank you for posting this in our group in your group, private group. That's pretty cool. Look at that. So awesome, man. That's really cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, all right, let's go ahead and bring.
Too, by the way.
Yes,
Derek,
this is Tanya, my wife. She's here. She exists. Sorry, I'm not trying to like.
I'm just kidding, Derek. It's just a joke.
There we go.
Like with him being a minister, it was always like, this is the minister's. This is John's wife.
Yes, this is John's wife.
And then I had kids, and so it's like, this is Evelyn's mom.
That's true.
So I always I have to pick when people leave me out.
That's it.
But I'm just being funny.
Yeah,
I'm not offended.
David's laughing. I can see him because he gets that.
Gets it.
So all right, let's go ahead and bring David on, shall we?
Why is David not wearing his shirt?
I don't know. He's wearing a thematic. Is he wearing his Bucky shirt? Hang on.
Yeah, man.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Good evening, friends. So good to be with you from just outside of Dallas, Texas, and it is a very chilly 37 degrees.
Oh my gosh!
You can put that shirt on my Christmas list.
It has been really I'm not. No, it's just not funny anymore.
You're gonna make me cough up a lung.
Okay. I'm not. He's laughing at me, David. I get like legitimate anxiety around Buc-ee's, like to the point of tears, and so he's just harassing me here on the internet in front of everyone.
I may have mentioned that. We may have stopped at Buc-ee's a few times. So
okay, well, David can get you a Buc-ee shirt. David, he wants a Buc-ee shirt for Christmas.
Yeah.
Hey, that should be our list. That could be a Travel Tips Tuesday sponsorship opportunity.
Absolutely.
Just saying. Put a little Buc-ee right over there, maybe like sitting on Yoda's head or something. I don't know.
Oh, that would not look comfortable.
No, it wouldn't. Anyway,
David, we're missing the top half of your face.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is fine. Maybe you want it that way. You do you. Like
I'm bald.
It's okay. There's not much to see.
But it's your eyeballs. That's not being able to see your eyeballs. There we go.
It works.
All right,
we're good. So I think I kind of prepped you a little bit for this. We're going to kind of go step by step, starting off with a few pictures here. And Tanya can interject. You can interject at any point. So it can be just a second. I'm going to throw this up here. The first slide or picture rather, that we're going to see, if I can figure out how to do this. There we go. Is going to be kind of the outside of the new cruise terminal of Allure of the Seas. If you've been following us on social media at all, you've seen me post a few kind of aerial shots of it and some things from the Port of Galveston Facebook page as well that have been shared out there. This is what the line looked like when we got off. And let me tell you that it is not as crazy as it looks. That line was moved. We got off and it was moved.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was moving. I think in fairness, all things considering, and hopefully this is one of the things that they're working on.
Yep.
The signage was not the best.
No.
As far as where, as you were getting off of the shuttle bus, where folks needed to go.
Yep.
Like if you were checking bags or if you were carrying on, the signage just was not the greatest.
Yep.
So
they had lots of like workers, employees out there.
Yes.
I feel like, but yeah, it was not. Yeah, I agree with you. It was not clear on where to go, especially for being somewhere new. I feel like they could have been more intentional about that. That was my only critique, I think, of my personal experience coming through this port. But otherwise, like, it was beautiful. It was great. We're going to show we're going to show some pictures of the interior of it here in just a little bit. There's some really cool facts about this, that this brand new cruise terminal is 100% solar powered. Yeah. I think it's the first one that's like that. So that's pretty neat. And again, they're set up to welcome the Oasis class ships, which is pretty exciting too. But before we go any further, I want you to kind of do a comparison thing, since you mentioned that earlier. This experience versus the experience at where we boarded the Prima few days before.
It's kind of unfair because that cruise terminal that now facilitates Norwegian, Disney, and Carnival, it's been around for a couple of decades.
Yep.
And it's your run-of-the-mill, just kind of metal fabricated building with lots of just open space on the inside.
Yep.
It has it's definitely improved over the years as far as timing and those kind of things. This technology has evolved, but it certainly is not as aesthetically pleasing to the eyes as the new terminal there that Royal has, which makes a whole lot of sense.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I kind of got this almost like warehouse kind of feel when I walked into it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, where they just kind of have you going like back and forth, right? Just switchbacks of little lines of walking people up at the Royal, kind of experience where we went their new cruise terminal. It was not like that at all. I mean, you walk in, that's what you see. These giant LED screens on both sides, with the Crown and Anchor right there in the middle, and these giant not propellers. I guess that's what you call it. Anyway, that on the drive ship. Sorry, my mind's like completely not 100% here right now. But anyway, they've got elevators right there. They've also got stairs as well as escalators over there on the left side to take you up top. Very beautiful, stunning way. Like when you walk in that building, you know where you are. There's no question about it. And I think it was really cool. They did a really good job of setting that up. Also on the outside, this was one of the more clear signs. I want to put that, so if you're not carrying on doing what they call self-assist for your bags, we carried all our stuff on because we wanted to just go ahead and go. Yeah. So, which is fine, but that's where that is. That was pretty clear of where that was. So
yeah, there just wasn't a lot of signage leading up to that point, and kind of where this group of people needed to go or that group of people, those kind of things. But we just followed the leader and we figured it out. It was all good.
Yeah, it was good. When you get up the stairs of the escalator, the first thing you do is there's like, I don't know, I feel like there was like 10 cruise terminal employees like yelling at you to get in line and have all your stuff out, make sure you're ready and blah, blah, blah. And they're like shoving your stuff through the little like luggage screening thing in, you're walking on it in through the metal detector and the whole thing. You get on the other side of that and boom, that's what you see. This very light, airy area has this
colors.
Yeah, has this vacation is calling a thing on the walls, and then this out of office starts. Yeah, out of office starts now. I think that's the next. Yeah, on the wall, which is pretty cool.
It's a good Instagram wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got a really cool vibe to it. Lots of seating if people are just waiting to board or whatever the case is. They're taking the pre-embarkation picture in front of the big banner or whatever it is. In our case, and I don't have it in here with me, but in our case, they were handing out hats, cowboy style hats. Like it's in the closet on top of the thing.
Oh, here we go.
Are you gonna go get it? Yeah. Dave may have his. I don't know.
Here, let me step out and I'll grab that.
Tanya, no, not in there. It's in our bedroom closet.
Oh my gosh,
I think you tossed it up there at some point. So anyway, this happens from time to time on Travel Tips Tuesdays. People just leave. Anyway, thank you for joining us. So yeah, this is where it says this is out of office starts now wall. That's pretty cool. And vacation is calling up. There's that. That's good talk, everybody. So this is actually the view from our stateroom that we had on board. We had a boardwalk balcony view on the Allure of the Seas. So here's Tanya. There we go. She's back.
We timed that well.
Y'all sat down at the same time. There we go.
She found that one, and I could not find what our 6-year-old did with it.
It happens.
Imagine that.
You'll find it randomly in like 6 months.
It's really cool. It happens
under a bathroom. cabinet or something.
Yeah. So I was explaining, this is the view from our stateroom they have. We had a boardwalk balcony, balcony room that is on the aft of the ship. So kind of the rear section. This is in the boardwalk neighborhood area. Right below that, there's a bunch of little like retail shops. There's Johnny Rockets. Those are the red umbrellas that you see down there. There's an ice cream shop. There's a Mexican restaurant that's down there. And what you can't really see super well, right below the Crown and Anchor, that's kind of right there, just right of center, is one of the more well-known sort of pieces of the ship, and that's the Aqua Theater, where they do these incredible kind of aerobatic shows with different types of flips and jumps and all sorts of things. Really cool music performances. They can even make it an actual like stage too, like where the pool is. Where the pool is, so that sort of blue part down there at the bottom, it's kind of the floor of it is sort of elevated, so they can raise and lower that to like different depths of up to like 17 feet, I think. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool multi-purpose space that they do. They showed some movies there on Veterans Day. They showed Top Gun. So yeah,
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
The new one.
Yeah,
it's good.
Dave, did you watch any of the acrobatic shows?
We did not.
Not really.
No.
We poked our head out on the balcony like a couple.
There was a concert by some girl. I don't know. I'm going to get slaughtered for this, and that's fine.
That's okay.
Her last name is Ballerini.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't listen to the new country stuff, so
yeah. Apparently, she's well known, and
yeah, and she probably did a great job.
I'm sure it was wonderful.
I mean, we have football on the TV. We were kind of
right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my Aggies were getting. Well, anyways, so
Kelsey Ballerini.
Yeah, there you go, Kelsey Ballerini. She came in. She flew into Cozumel and embarked with her band there in Cozumel, and her concert. Let's see, we were in Cozumel on Friday.
Yeah,
her concert was Saturday night. It was kind of an exclusive, private seating, private invitation.
Yep.
We came across that quite a bit throughout our sailing, as it was just a trade event only. So there were a lot of private invitations for dinners and gatherings for various travel agencies and owners and agents and those kind of things.
Thank you, Derek. By the way, I didn't realize you're. I should have just straight up asked you. Didn't realize you were still here. So thank you for clarifying that for us. It's someone that works in the music industry, that lives and breathes it. So he would definitely know. But yeah, this is a really cool space, just for a lot of different things they can do as sort of a feature space of the ship. A few other things to note that you can kind of see in this picture. That kind of blends into with clouds, but there's a zip line. If you look sort of the top left, you'll see a railing and a little blue platform, almost top middle right there. That is the zip line platform. It goes from there all the way over to this corner that's a lot farther than it looks. They also have the sports courts up there on the top left as well, that they do a lot of different things. They do basketball and pickleball are kind of the two things that they use that space a lot.
Y'all go play basketball?
We did not.
Yeah.
No. We did a lot of chilling. So I didn't take pictures of our stateroom. So this is not actually ours, but this is the type of stateroom that we had. Ours was kind of flipped around a little bit, where the beds were closer to the balcony. So imagine ours just flipped a little bit. So of course, you got your desk, the fridge is in there, TV, of course, little chairs, love seat, and that's the bathrooms back there on the back wall, right there next to the door. So nothing super fancy, pretty, what I would call pretty typical of a stateroom. Not, as boring as I've seen in some. But this ship, David, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you had mentioned it's going to be in dry dock sometime next year.
Yeah, it needs some updating.
It needs some love. Like they're still.
Carpet? Is
carpet
that
just
full standard. I don't know.
Well, do what?
Is that still like a standard thing on cruise ships?
In cruise ships, yeah. But so thankfully, they have to sleep on the floor. can't say that was the case when I was down at Disney recently, but it was all right. So we had a lot of fun on the ship. We did a lot of things. And yes, even though we had a spill, it's all right though. Even though it was a cruise ship, if it wasn't a little rocky, because that cruise did go back and forth quite a bit, or that ship did go back and forth quite a bit, sort of feeling the motion of it. You wouldn't have really known. Like I made a comment, I think, to David later on, that we spent so much time below deck that it's almost like you were in a resort in a way, on the high seas, because there's so many different things to do on an Oasis class ship. And this is one of the ones that has not been amplified. That's kind of real Caribbean's jargon for, refurbished, adding the latest, greatest tech and all that kind of stuff in it. So definitely a fantastic ship. A lot of stuff to do, even though it's, may need a little bit of TLC.
Yep. The ship is broken down into neighborhoods. And you definitely got that impression with their theming and their presentation of restaurants, of bars, just social gathering places. You definitely felt like, okay, 1 minute we're in Central Park, literally.
Right.
I mean, it felt like we were in Central Park, and then we are in the Royal Promenade.
Yep. They're real distinct.
Yeah,
so distinctive. And you leave one area and you were going into a completely different area.
Absolutely.
And each had its own great perks to it. Like, looking back at it now, I wish I would have spent more time in Central Park as opposed to the Royal Promenade.
Oh yeah, I agree. Central Park was I think I may have one picture of Central Park in here somewhere, but it was a completely chill area. This is just, before we go any further, this is one more view. Kind of see the Aqua Theater a little bit better there.
In the hood.
Yeah, and it looks like the stage was intact there.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. The stage is intact in that one, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna kind of walk through a few of the neighborhoods. I don't think I have all of them, but I have some of them on here. This is one shot of the Royal Promenade right beneath what they call the Rising Tide Bar. So this sort of oval shaped thing up here with the fountain coming out of the bottom of it is a bar that goes from deck 5 all the way up to deck 7. So deck 5 down here on the Royal Promenade, a lower part of it, and then all the way up to deck 7, which is where the Central Park neighborhood is. So it's a bar that floats up and down. It doesn't run, like 24 hours or anything, but it's it. We were there for a little bit one night, and I mean, I don't know about you, David, but I thought it had a pretty cool vibe to it. Like, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was very intimate. I think the max occupancy was maybe around 50 people.
Yeah.
And you had your typical kind of bar stools and tables and, high tops, those kind of things. But just, again, just a unique piece to that neighborhood that made it kind of a high traffic area at times where people were vying to get on just to be part of the experience.
Is that something you make a reservation for, or you just get on a wait list?
You just, once it comes back down, and if there is a chair available, essentially, you go in and grab that chair, because they don't want you just standing around the tables,
right?
Due to potential safety issues there. Right. And there were a few people that were spoken to because they were standing instead of,
not y'all, really.
No.
How long is it?
We were angels, Tanya, the whole time.
I'm certain the whole time.
No drama. This is a drama-free experience.
Right. So, right.
Thank you, Jesus.
How long does it take to move up and back down?
I'd say it was probably about 5 minutes or
so.
Oh, really?
I mean, like it was very incremental steps, just kind of a slow, like you didn't feel it shift or anything.
Right.
But just kind of a gradual incline, and then a gradual decline back down, and just a real unique experience.
Yep. But I really like the fountain part of it too. You can see some things coming up from the bottom, and then the kind of fountain that sort of comes down from the top. I just thought that was real neat, like aesthetic to it. Something unique. This is the Central Park.
There's Central Park.
Yeah, this is one end of it. That kind of, I can't remember which way this is facing, but this gives you the general idea.
That is facing forward.
Yeah, lots of different vegetation, trees, bushes, all of it
crickets,
real, right?
John,
yeah,
I cannot believe that
crickets.
They were able to keep crickets alive on that thing.
Don't believe what he says.
Hopping around everywhere.
They had very like carefully placed speakers. Think like Pandora World of Avatar.
The crickets gathered in this area.
Yes,
that area.
This is where Pandora got inspired.
Chocolate covered crickets.
Yeah, exactly. But no, they turn on the crickets at night.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's just they went on during the day, but I was never up there when they actually flipped the switch. But it's probably a gradual fade in.
It makes me think. So, like when I see the Star Cruiser, like the Galactic Star Cruiser photos of where they have the area on the ship that mimics, land.
I
always picture Central Park from Royal Caribbean.
Kind of like that. Why. Yeah. So this area is like open air too.
Yeah.
Which is like when we were on the Rising Tide bar, anytime the doors would open, like it got so like the wind was just like blowing on our faces. So it did get kind of cool the last night as temperatures were dropping. We sort of felt that, but we sat outside out there for a while and just kind of chatted it up for a little bit.
Are there restaurants and stuff in the Central Park area?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a couple of restaurants, a little wine bar there.
Wine and tapas bar.
Tapas, yeah.
Yep.
And then this neighborhood is constructed similar to Boardwalk in that you have those interior balconies there that face into the Central Park area.
Yeah.
And I never really thought I would be a fan of an interior balcony, because you think balcony and you're thinking ocean,
see the ocean,
sunset, sunrises, whatever the case may be. But it really was a very unique perspective and outlook on the happenings of a cruise ship.
If I would say, because these are located more midship, and I would say for people that are worried about the motion of a ship, or just are a little maybe on the edge, that this type of room view would be solid for them. Especially it tends to be more laid back. Like if you want to be in an area of the ship that doesn't have like as many kids, this is definitely, I think, a good option for you. So now I will say that on one end of the Central Park, there is a kind of bar / club, I don't know what you want to call it, that does have a lot of entertainment going on at night. So you might notice some like flashing lights and that kind of thing. But surprisingly, surprisingly, one of the things I noticed is that the way the sound carries on this ship was, I think, very carefully addressed. So you don't. Whereas there were some issues, I think, with sound carrying on the Prima in certain spots, like putting the spa directly below the VR game room, which was probably a bit of an oversight. Heavy subs making noises and stuff. That didn't happen on this ship. I think the only issue with like unwelcome noise that we had was being woken up by the Johnny Rocket servers singing at 7:45.
Right.
So that's just
it was time to get up anyways.
They're out there doing breakfast. Have the Johnny Rocket servers like singing and stuff?
Yeah, but I didn't know they did breakfast.
Yeah, well, on the ship they do. So I don't know if like regular Johnny Rockets does or not. I haven't been to regular Johnny Rockets in so long.
Rockets.
I'd never heard of it prior to embarking the ship.
Anywhere I can get relish on a cheeseburger, I'm happy with.
There you go. She loves her sweet relish.
I love cheeseburger.
They don't offer that at Whataburger.
Yeah, well, as they should.
Ours
not.
Is finally going to open in a couple weeks. So they say they've been building it like no joke for like a year.
Facebook user says
incognito.
We're gonna call her Facebook user. Facebook user says, who is asleep at 7:45? I will tell you who's asleep at 7:45. The people that have lots of children at home and
never get to sleep.
Never get to sleep at 7:45. So That's who. So this is we are talking about. Yeah, here we go. All right. So this is embarkation day. When we got there and we're pushing off port, they're handing off these old Texas flags, which is kind of cool. To everybody, we're at the sail away party, top deck, just kind of hanging out and chatting it up and watching the ship go away. They did I don't think I told you this, a water gun salute from one of the
Water cannon.
Yeah, thank you. A water cannon salute from one of the
we got our little
pew pew pew. Yeah.
yeah.
Little super soakers hanging off the
Yeah,
bow of the ship.
exactly.
No, yeah. So they had water cannon salute from some of the tugs that were out there, and so that was kind of neat just to kind of have that experience, and everybody was really excited. And they had a ribbon cutting ceremony in the cruise terminal before I think most of the guests kind of came in, so that was kind of neat too. So I've got that flag back there somewhere. I think somewhere in here in this office. So this is I'm trying to make this a little bit larger.
Hey,
there we go.
Facebook user Incognito says who's asleep at 7:45. Well, she and I were definitely not asleep at 7:45.
Nope.
We were not getting woken up by
I'm thinking
Johnny Rocket singers.
That user is the same one making twinsies comments.
Yep.
Do what'd you say?
That user is the same one making twinsy comments.
Yeah.
So again, this is just a little infographic that they left in our stateroom about the new terminal, which is kind of neat. So the first zero energy cruise terminal in Texas, again, 100% solar powered. They have electric vehicle charging stations, which is pretty cool. 75% of construction waste is diverted from landfill, prioritize lower carbon materials and transportation processes. So that's kind of neat. So not just the actual like physical building, but how they were getting the materials there. Lighting strategies to reduce lighting pollution. So that's also pretty cool. Enjoyed that. So this is the next morning, actually, and we sat in a presentation on Icon of the Seas, which was pretty great. We enjoyed that.
Oh, you had to do some actual work.
Yeah, there's some actual work involved. But that was a really good presentation and found out a few things that I did not know about the ship.
Yeah, and they let a few secrets slip.
Hang on, I made a note of some of the secrets. So I did know this, but I don't think I've talked about this. Is Royal Caribbean's first LNG or liquid natural gas ship, which is pretty neat. So one of the and this happens in a lot of cruise ships and some hotel rooms that are out there. One of the most annoying things, especially if you're at one like on the coast or in Florida, or again, like I said, on a cruise ship, is when you leave the room, what happens?
I know what you're going to say. It gets to be 100 degrees.
Yeah. Air conditioning shuts off. Yep. So it's like an energy saving feature. So you would think stupid. Energy saving, whatever, they're all about this.
Energy saving is great, but coming back at like 10 o'clock at night to 100 degrees.
Yeah. With the Icon, they figured out a way around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they will only put the room into energy saving mode if everybody in that stateroom has disembarked the ship. And the moment the first person from that stateroom comes back on the ship, the air conditioning will automatically kick back on without them, like before they even get up to the stateroom. So I thought that was kind of like that was a pretty cool thing, sort of a really cool compromise. So there's some other things that were mentioned, but that's the one that kind of stuck out to me because, that's
David, do you remember any secrets?
So it's 20 decks, which will make it the world's largest ship. Right now, I believe that label is granted to the Wonder of the Seas.
Okay.
So Icon of the Seas will be the first of the new Icon series of ships, much like we were on an Oasis class. Icon will be a class of its own.
Okay.
And they have, I believe, 3 more ships on order to come out. To come out annually over the next 4 to 5 years. So we'll see a lot of those come through. They have some new restaurants that they didn't go into great detail about, but we're like, oh, we just walked by this new concept and that new concept. And the thing I'm trying to, I think
The
it was
guy doing
called,
the guy doing the presentation kept on being like, I probably shouldn't have shown you that. Don't
Yeah.
look at that.
yeah,
Forget that.
like every 3 minutes.
Sorry, go ahead.
They have a new experience. I believe it was called the Crown's Edge,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
where you're on this platform and all of a sudden you are dropped. Like you're, fully harnessed and all that,
Dangling.
but you're, more or less over the ship.
Yep.
And it's not at your count, it's at theirs. Like they're in full control of your life at that point.
I think they said it was
Literally.
I think they said it was like 158 feet, like above the water,
Yeah.
off the side of the ship. Yeah.
So that experience will come at an additional charge.
Yeah.
But a lot of the new experiences that they were adding to the Icon of the Seas were going to be included in that cruise fare, which got just an amazing round of applause from all of those in attendance for that session.
Yeah.
So are you going to do it, David, when you get on the Icon?
If the Icon will come to Galveston, I will do it. Yeah.
You'll get on the
I
dangly
will
thing.
get on the Crown's Edge.
Crown's Edge, that's it. Thank you.
I would love to get it. Let's call it the dangly thing instead.
The dangling. Oh, easy.
I don't know about that.
Easy.
All right, moving onward. So
I thought this was a family show.
I did tell him it was a family show.
He lied.
Oh boy.
He
All
lied,
right.
David.
And we're losing subscribers by the second. That's okay.
Right.
Bye.
So that
hey.
evening we go. Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead and speak to what's on the screen right there.
So this is a real quick. Like you're not supposed to take like photos or videos, but I'm like, this show is so good. I've got to have made sure my flash was off or whatever. This was the.
So you're not rule followers.
Well, I mean, in this moment, no.
Is what we're saying.
The whole place had.
You hear that Facebook user?
Yeah,
not rule followers.
This was like towards the end of the show, but Mamma Mia. This was like not like a dumbed down like cruise ship version, but this was a traveling troupe. I guess was the best word for it. That does the show so well. It was so stinking good.
We had a problem.
Was that? We got a problem?
Yeah.
What happened?
Just keep talking.
Okay. I don't know.
I
don't know what just happened.
Just keep talking.
So,
just keep swimming.
I see that. Oh yeah, is that in? Oh, that's YouTube.
That's YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. So hang on, I can probably go and do that. No, why don't you talk?
I can't do it.
I've got to pull that up.
Well, David, you talk because I don't know anything about this shit.
So
sorry, we're getting spam comments in.
Mamma Mia really was a Broadway level, and I mean every cruise line will advertise, our shows are Broadway.
Sure.
Outside of we not being on Broadway, that was about the closest thing that I'd seen to Broadway level entertainment, and that's not knocking any other cruise line, any other production by any means. It was 21st century funny, but it still took you back to the early days of ABBA and their whole process of writing Mamma Mia, the shows, and it was really, really well done. Had a short intermission in there, but even just seeing the cast, I think back to Saturday night, we saw the cast eating pizza in Sorrento's, and just visiting with cruise patrons and just kind of conversating with each other, and I mean they're cruise royalty, in some ways. So to just see them floating out and about was really, really cool.
That is cool.
One other entertainment experience that just absolutely was so moving. We were on the ship for Veterans Day, and as someone who is a former first responder, has family members in the military, and retired from military, having served, all those kind of things. The I don't know, probably 20 to 25 minute presentation that they did for Veterans Day was just absolutely moving.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Probably one of the most moving things I had experienced on a cruise ship.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was very, very well done.
but I'll give my 2 cents on that in a minute. I've got some pictures that
Oh,
I took of it.
perfect.
So I tried to upload the video of it, but just was taking too long.
Yeah.
But just he's right, just like so moving. I mean, the senior vice president for basically people that she's in charge of working with travel agencies, travel partners that are out there. She does some other things. Her name is Vicky Preed, and she's like basically if Royal Caribbean had a celebrity, she would be it.
Yeah.
And she was there on the ship, and she like got really emotional after the like she was just bawling. Lots of other people crying there. So before we get there to those pictures, and I'll have some additional comments in a minute, I'm going to go to our day in port at Cozumel.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that was also going on while our cruise was going on was there's this person named Nicole that wanted to make herself known in Florida as a hurricane. And so because of that, there were a lot of ships that were repositioned for ports of call. When we landed in port at Cozumel, by the time we left, there were, I think, 6 ships in port. There's our Royal Caribbean ship, the Celebrity Beyond, that's right next to us. That is their newest ship that her parents will actually be on in just a couple of weeks. So that'll be pretty cool to kind of hear from them about that. I should bring your dad on the podcast.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Oh boy,
my dad's the best.
He's pretty fun. Carnival had a ship, Holland America had a ship, MSC had one, and NCL had one. I may be missing one, but there are a bunch of them that were there, and the port was very busy. Not like busy, like uncomfortable. It was just it was pretty busy.
You had 4 of them docked right there where we were, and then if you're familiar with Cozumel at all, Cozumel has a ferry that runs back and forth to Playa.
Yep.
And just on the other side of that ferry, probably, I don't know, a couple hundred yards or so, where the MSC and the NCL ship were docked in. And, it's amazing that Cozumel has the space to take on 6 ships. At one point, I had heard that there was even a ship there in Cozumel that had to tender in.
Yep, I'd heard. I remember hearing about
and I think that was a day or two prior to our arrival. But it's the go-to. It's the go-to cruise port for all of these cruise lines.
Yeah.
They've all invested millions of dollars in the infrastructure there.
Yeah.
And so to see a lot of the big players represented there was really neat.
Yeah. And one of the things, as busy as they were, they had some stuff figured out. So like when you get off the ship, they have the typical little kind of Latin American market, right? So with all the different shops and stalls, and you heckle for prices and stuff on things, and David hates that, but anyway, it was just like that kind of thing. But once you get through that, to kind of closer to the roadways, the process for getting people in taxis was like the most efficient thing I've ever witnessed. It was like, where are you going? Okay, go over there. Where are you going? Okay, go over there. Where are you going? Okay, go over there. You don't just stand there and wait either. Like there's somebody that pulls up to get you, to take you to where you're going. And like that, I don't know. It's just something about that. Just kind of like, okay, it's how they're doing. Like, and we didn't go on, we didn't do an excursion that was booked through the ship. This is a resort that David knew about. You want to talk about Mr. Sancho's a little bit?
Yeah, Mr. Sancho is probably one of the most popular destinations in Cozumel. Just overall, it's just a big beach area, private beach area. It has kind of a little water park with inflatables out there. You can parasail, jet ski, snorkel, get massages,
Right.
to have pictures with the iguanas, or as they like to call Mexican Godzillas.
This is true.
You know, they've got all of the beach vendors that come through, you know, wanting to sell you 2-week-old tattoos and, you know, whatever else.
Yeah.
But just a real cool place to hang out and enjoy time and some beautiful water.
Yeah.
But enjoy, you know, some decent food and decent beverages at the same time.
Yeah. And this was, so like you said, private beach club. I don't know if you said, do you say the food and drinks were included?
Yeah.
But all the other stuff beyond that was like you kind of pay per use sort of thing.
Right.
So it was nice. Like they had an area of the beach that you could tell because the seagrass was kind of starting to come in on us, but you could tell that they had been trying to keep it cleaned up, at least on the water kind of immediately in front of where we were.
Right.
So we're kind of getting off the ship here, and that kind of gives you another view of the celebrity beyond there. And that's kind of another view out the window there, right as we were leaving port that day. And I wanted to highlight this. This is, I don't know what this is. So this is an Edge class ship, and they have a similar concept to the Rising Tide bar on the Oasis class ships, except this one is on the outside of the ship. Yeah. So it's like a really cool, similar experience, a little bit more room to stretch out while you're in there. But a really cool kind of open air bar that goes up and down on the side of the ship, which is pretty neat. So this is getting to the Veterans Day celebration. I'm kind of towards sort of weasel my way in towards the front there. This sort of center is the Rising Tide bar. They've stopped it right in the middle, and they did this a couple of times for this, and then also the Pirate Parade, which I'm just remembering. I forgot to put pictures in here of that. But Pirate Parade is basically a little thing they do on the last day. It's sort of just a show with little parade floats and music and people dancing around and stuff. But the cruise director is sort of at this podium on the Rising Tide bar. He was reading poetry. He was recognizing veterans. There were a lot of Vietnam, Gulf, and I think like Iraq, Afghanistan kind of vets in the room. He recognized all of them from the various conflicts. There were no World War II veterans on board, but there was one Korean War vet kind of towards the front, and he like stuck his hand up, and it was like such a moving moment to see him there. So, and of course, he kind of did the lighting sort of a red, white, and blue sort of pattern up top, which was kind of neat. And at the end of it, a little ceremony, they did a sort of a recognition moment of all the members of the armed forces that had paid the ultimate price, and they played taps. And like that's when I get chills just thinking about it right now. Every time I hear taps, like I know how heavy of a thing that represents and what that's all about. So they had a trumpeter playing that. It was so good and so moving. They did an American flag cupcake kind of spread that, which was kind of funny because he sat out for a while.
Yeah.
We went away from the Royal Promenade after this was over. I think we went up to the room or somewhere for a little while. Then we came back, and only 3 of the cupcakes were eaten. Like the guy standing there was like trying to, would you like a cupcake? Would you? Right. And I think people were just like, this is so nice. I don't want to touch it, but I ate one. So there you go.
There you go.
They had a similar table set up like this. I want to say maybe it was Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
with the Texas flag.
Yeah. I remember that. That was pretty neat.
Fun.
That was pretty neat. I like the little details, little things. So this is an a cappella group, a show that we saw. Again, the entertainment was absolutely on point on the ship. For an a cappella group called Mosaic, and they are a bunch of different, from a bunch of different places across the U.S. The guy on the far left, this is not the best picture, but the guy on the far left is kind of the lead singer organizer, and he was actually the Beast at the Beauty and the Beast show at Walt Disney World for a while, which is kind of neat. They were flashing all their bios up on the screens on the sides of the stage before the show started. But these guys were absolutely incredible. They knew how to get the crowd engaged, and they were talented too. They weren't just a bunch of goofballs, running around, but they were each have their own individual kind of vocal talents that they highlighted, and I really, really enjoyed that. So, moving on here, this is Johnny Rockets again, kind of on the
So did y'all eat there?
boardwalk. Yeah. Did you eat there, Dave?
No, sir.
Okay. I did a couple of times. Once
Next time.
for dinner and once for breakfast. Breakfast was
Yeah,
dinner
when
was
you had it, I think you had it for like a late lunch.
Yes. Maybe that's
And
what it
it
was.
started raining,
Oh
and I
boy,
was
yeah.
hangry.
Yeah.
So I went to Windjammers.
Yes. So Windjammers is the buffet on all the Royal Caribbean ships. So there's Johnny Rockets there. And okay, this is one picture from the Pirate Parade. I did get that in there. So you
Yeah.
can kind of see.
I'm gonna have to peace out.
All right. You
It's-
all right?
Time for me to turn into a pumpkin.
It's time to, we're almost done.
Okay.
All right, we're almost done. I promise.
I mean, I don't wanna
So
leave
it's all right.
Dave, I'm glad to have I'm glad to have
So,
him here, but I'm
Again, Royal
fading.
Prom. They've got this guy dressed up as this like commander thing in a frilly little outfit and these floats and different things, and just a high energy little moment of entertainment. And this is Dave getting out there, if you will, by the car
hey.
on all the Oasis class ships. He's right in front of the Rising Tide bar. They have these old like classic cars that are out there. Everyone slightly different color scheme, but basically the same model. So that's pretty cool. We took that picture because the Dumonts, that are Travelmation people, were on the Oasis of the Seas at the same time, and he had posted a picture of himself in front of it.
You're recreating it, huh?
Yeah, we were recreating it. A few other things from around the ship: the flow rider, so surf simulator.
Please tell me y'all tried this.
We did not. I never actually went
I
out
would
there.
die.
This is not my picture, but this is another agent's.
Yeah, no, that would be the end of Tanya.
I kind of wanted to, but again, this is the thing. The ship is so huge. There's so much to do. You didn't get to really everything.
Yeah, sure.
This is the kids' splash area. That looked pretty fun. This was like my favorite spot on the ship right here. This is the solarium towards the bow of the ship. It's a 2-deck private adults only area. A couple of big jacuzzis. There's a bar. There's a restaurant in the area. A bunch of chairs and stuff set out, but it's pretty chill.
That's cool.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. And this is kind of us on our formal night.
Oh, look at y'all.
Yeah. So look at that.
So fancy.
So fancy.
Fancy
looking
pants.
Good.
Yeah. So a lot of good people that were on this cruise. And this is us the night before.
Vicky.
Yeah. So we got a picture with old Vicky Freed right there in the middle. So it was good to kind of be able to do that on that last night. So I think that's all.
Here's just a little insight for you, Tanya. I had to use some of your verbiage, some of your names for John.
Oh boy.
Which ones?
In reference to Vicky and your interactions with her.
Oh, we'll have to talk off air about this. I forget.
Yeah.
Creeptastic?
Oh, yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, I may have told that story. We were all sharing how we met our spouses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord, and the creeptastic came back a few times. So
there you go.
Anyway, so this
They'll talk about squirt too, didn't you?
oh geez. Squirt. That's not appropriate for anything.
That's definitely not for the
that's like
family
over the
show.
line. But
He
that
sounds fun.
oh boy. All right. I'm gonna have to edit this out. No, I probably won't.
It's all
I'm
me.
too lazy.
It's just
So
me.
we
Just
we
cut me
get
out of
back
this and
the
y'all
following
talk.
morning. It was like bitter cold outside, but I didn't notice this from this angle. But that's the new cruise terminal there with the Crown and Anchor on top, which I thought was like pretty cool little view. And the sun's coming up, and it was just kind of a peaceful little moment.
That's a great picture.
So, yeah, so it was a fantastic cruise. Very excited for the city of Galveston and the surrounding area to hopefully bring in a little bit more income in the area. They've been hit hard by some hurricanes and stuff in the past, and hopefully this will help out their economy a little bit in this area.
Yeah.
So
and there was talk that this was going to be a casualty of COVID. That new terminal, because they had just gotten started not long before COVID had reared its ugly head, and both Royal Caribbean and the city of Galveston and the port of Galveston contributed millions of dollars in this partnership to get that new cruise terminal up and going. So to see it finally come to fruition and get that Oasis class ship, it is the largest ship that sails out of Galveston, out of any of the cruise lines. So if you're looking for size and you're looking for a great 7-night experience, I assure you, you're going to need all 7 nights to really fully experience the Allure or another Oasis class ship. That is definitely the way to go. Come to Galveston, get John and Tanya to take care of you, get you to Galveston, fly into Houston, and make the most out of a beautiful terminal. I think we were on the ship in less than 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, easily.
And then back off the ship in less than 10 minutes.
Nice.
So it really was, technology plays a lot into that.
Yeah.
But the embarkation, disembarkation processes were
Super
so
Super
fluid.
Good.
It was great.
Yeah, one of the things they did do that I'll point out, and then we'll wrap up here in a moment, is that disembarkation or debarkation, whichever term you use, when you're getting off the ship, you scan your CPAS, and then which is like what they call your little room key thing. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, that's it. So you scan your little CPAS. You've got a little barcode on the back of it, and then you've got a camera that you look at. They use facial rec to check you in and out. And because of that, you don't have to typical go through TSA and they look at your passport and all the things that's tied into TSA systems somehow, I think, and they kind of get you on through. And that was the case for the Prima and also for her experience in the Royal Caribbean terminal. So it was a different experience, which I really enjoyed. They had one little TSA or customs guy there, just leaning on the counter, kind of looking you up and down to make sure you weren't a crazy person. But
right, they're like, get out of here. We got more people to bring in.
Just go. Yeah, they let us through, both of us, believe it or not. So anyway, anything else you want to add in closing, Dave?
No, thanks for having me on. Been looking forward to this moment for a good little bit. And Tanya, thank you for allowing me to have some John time here the last few weeks.
I can
look forward to doing it here again in a couple of months at retreat. And you're gonna love your cruise coming up, Tanya. And I'm excited for you.
So excited.
I can't wait for that trip report. It's gonna be good. I think.
Thank you for joining us. This is
absolutely.
It's been good. So if y'all do have any questions about travel planning, you can feel free to reach out to us. Again, travelmationteamrogers.com. If you're local to Texas and the Dallas or Houston area, definitely reach out to Dave. He's a solid resource and does a great job at what he does for travel planning. And again, if you want to watch or share Travel Tips Tuesday on YouTube or on Facebook in a couple of different places, or subscribe to the audio version out there in podcast land, check out the link there on our link tree at linktree.com. Yes, leave us a review. We would love that.
Yeah.
So we've had fun chatting all things Allure of the Seas. There's a lot we didn't get to, but I think we covered a good bit.
Yeah.
Again, if you got questions about it, feel free to reach out. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.